I was given 7 days to celebrate walking. They were calling me a financial liability. They were defining me as a dead body who probably will die in a room in her own urine and in her own feces. I had to change my identity in the eyes of people. I will not be called a wheelchair bound patient all my life. But now what do? Do I give up on my career? She will never be able to achieve this dream. And this time I dare. Hi, I'm Deepa Malik, and I'm going to share my journey. A journey which is full of challenges, fears, unpredictability, and also my dreams, also the solutions that I sought, and definitely how I learned to celebrate my life. The first lockdown was introduced in my life when a very playful, outdoorsy, tomboyish little Deepa was told that she has a tumor in her spine for which she was in the hospital for almost 2 years. Once the doctors discovered the tumor, I was taken into surgery. After that surgery, I had to undergo a very, very strict rehabilitation program. It was scary for a young child because I was strapped up in calipers, in chest braces that would leave blisters prickly on my body. My parents used to say, today you stand up for 2 minutes, tomorrow you'll be able to stand up for 4 minutes, and one day you will walk. That taught me how to continuously raise my own bar. Battled with that tumor and learned to walk again. Went on to a very normal teenagers, again back to my outdoor self, and then got married to a person who had the same passions as I had. I loved sports, I loved outdoors, I loved biking, and ours was a fairy tale marriage. And then our first daughter was born. I started living my childhood in tiny steps of my daughter, but she met with an accident as a 1 year plus little girl, and the impact on her brain caused the left of her body to get paralyzed. She was taken to the same hospital where I had spent my days of childhood struggling with my share of disability. I was busy with Devika's recovery and her treatment, and just then we got the good news that our little bundle of joy, Ambika, was on her way. And once Ambika was born, Devika also started showing a lot of improvement because the two siblings would play together. Just when life was looking up, things were normalizing. We got the news that my husband had to proceed for the Kargil war, and being an army officer, he had to attend to the call of his duty. The call came at a time when doctors, after an MRI, told me that my tumors were back. And my tumors were back with a vengeance. 1999, June, I was transferred to R&R Hospital, Delhi, where I was given 7 days to celebrate walking. Doctor said, since they are recurring tumors, it's going to be a complicated surgery. And surgery is the only answer if you want a chance to live, because otherwise the infection is going to spread and maybe they lose me on the operation table. But removal of tumor will also leave me paralyzed since the spinal cord will get damaged. Not very many choices, but I chose life against death. I wanted to live. And I think my motherhood gave me a lot of courage. I wanted to be around my daughters, especially at a time when there was no surety of life of my husband who was fighting a war. In that kind of a predicament, I decided to go in for the surgery. I walked into the theatre knowing very well that either I will not live, or even if I do, I will walk out, or maybe I will be wheeled out with chest below paralysis. I had to accept what was coming But I guess I focused more on staying alive than the paralysis. I learned one major lesson which I always share from such platforms. Whenever you are prepared, the stress levels are always low. Armed with this kind of preparation, I reached the hospital and I got a lot of strength from the war wounded soldiers. And when I walked through that hospital and I looked at the faces of these soldiers, the only thing I saw was a smile. That gave me a lot of strength that if they can smile in these adversities, I am still a person who had a disease. There is a reason of my disability which is going to happen in my life. When I was celebrating being alive, having gone through major surgeries and the doubt of losing my life on the operation table, I was really happy that I was alive and I made it through those surgeries. I was learning the new tricks of the new body. I was adapting myself emotionally to the requirements and the daily needs in chest below paralysis, where I did not even have a bladder or a bowel control left in my body. I had no torso balance, I had no sensation in my body, and I was learning what to eat, what not to eat, how to manage my urine, my stool. And inside I felt brave. And that is the only word with which I could define myself in my own thoughts. But to my horror and to my surprise, people were defining me in a different manner. They were calling me a financial liability. They were defining me as a dead body who probably will die in a room in her own urine and in her own feces. People thought I will never be able to be a good mother, I will never be able to feed my daughters, be with my daughters. I will be a hindrance in my husband's transferable job in the army, as people like us cannot travel. I was working very hard with my training, with my rehabilitation, with all the exercises, but nobody was focusing on my hard work. And that's when I decided I had to change people's perception. I had to change my identity in the eyes of people. I will not be called a wheelchair bound patient all my life. And slowly I realized, who is more disabled? Is it me or it's the mindsets of the society? Do they know how to deal with a person like me? And then I set myself on a mission, ability beyond disability. I set myself on a solution finding mode, which probably is now defined as my resilience, because I was adapting to all the changes around me. If they said I will not be able to cook for my children, I started a garden restaurant and a full-fledged catering business. If they called me wheelchair bound on the wheels of a wheelchair, I changed the wheels to the wheels I loved the most. I started biking again. I started rallying again. You know, being first biker, rallist, it all is indeed great to hear. The first biker woman of India, the first rallist, but being a first always comes with a bag of challenges. You have to find your own way, especially when there are no policies around it. Nobody is accepting your modified, customized vehicle. Nobody is ready to give you insurance in your body. And in the quest of being a biker, I wanted to strengthen my upper body, to be able to drive and sustain gruesome rallies in the deserts and high altitude. I had to exercise. And that's when I was reintroduced to a rehabilitation called hydrotherapy. Once I entered the water, I realized my body can swim with just the help of 2 arms. And that's when a sportswoman in me was born. I learned about para sports in Maharashtra, and I joined as a swimmer at the age of 36 years. At 36, when I learned that there are sports for people in disability, though not very many women were participating at that point of time, and there was nobody in the disability category that I represent the country. I wanted to go and participate in nationals, and everybody said, "Khelne jayenge? Is she going to play in this age, in this body? A mother of 2 daughters is going to play?" That was unheard of. People said 36 is the age where mostly athletes and sportsperson choose to retire. But I was going to take a leap into the unknown, because I have understood that opportunity knocks at your door. Winners are those who have the courage to walk through that door. When I reached the national competition in the year of 2006, it took me an hour to pick up 3 medals in 3 different strokes, and 3 new national records were made. That gave me an opportunity. That gave me an opportunity to represent my country at FESPIC Games in Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur. FESPIC Games were then the Asian Games for our region. When I got the opportunity to travel to Malaysia to represent India, I had to go alone. Till then, there were no policies which said you could take an escort or an attendant along. I definitely went there alone. But when I came back wearing the Indian tricolors, the tracksuit, and holding on to a medal, because I stood second in backstroke there. Once I arrived at the Delhi airport and I waited for my cab, no taxi would stop. Instead, they turned around and said, "एम्बुलेंस की सवारी को टैक्सी में क्यों बिठा रहे हैं?" That hit me strong. I said, wearing a tracksuit and holding on to an Indian medal, and yet I was being called an ambulance ki savari. And that inspired me to continue to play sports, and a serious sports person within me was born. Even in my journey of sports, I did hit a dead end. My body was not taking well to the cold water of swimming training in the winter months. Doctors advised me against swimming in the cold season because that could cause a cardiac arrest. So I had to shift my gears. So when my swimming career came to a dead end, because internationally I was not able to improve my timing, since the infrastructural challenge of heated swimming pools came my way. My will was there, my strength and ability to go out and train was there. I had the passion in me to represent my country and win medals in swimming, but the biggest challenge was not getting access to temperature controlled swimming pools. And this was an external hindrance which came my way. But now what do? Do I give up on my career, or I try to learn another skill, or I hone another ability to continue to play my sports? That's what I always tell today's generation, that you should be quick to find solution, adapt, and be willing to learn. Never give up on learning something new. And thankfully, I did that. I started learning to become an athlete at the age of 39. At 40, I got the opportunity to represent my country at the Commonwealth Games 2010. That brought me to the capital city, and I had to shut down my full-fledged catering business. With 2010, the serious athlete and a sporting career was born in my life. I shifted to Delhi, and when I came to Delhi, I realized that the policies were not there. No defined policy was there for para sports. Our constitutional right says that all of us are equal. Then why the policies for para sports, when internationally they were equal, not there for us? That's when me and my elder daughter Devika, with our passion for creating an inclusive world, we started making certain documentation of policies of another countries and putting it out there to bureaucrats, to politicians, to officials. What will happen by just my doing something? You know, taking initiative is the biggest virtue of a good leader. And taking initiative can lead to bigger solutions in life. Soon I was made a member in the 5-year Planning Commission as appointed by the HRD Division of Sports Ministry. And as a member in that working group, we were able to define policies for parasports. Parasports became mainstream, and so did my passion and my career. That was the mainstream, the only aim that I had, and I wanted to represent my country at the highest level, that is Paralympics. But unfortunately, I could not make it to Paralympics. However, at the age of 42, I was awarded the prestigious Arjuna Award. And everybody said that at 42, you're getting one of the highest sporting honors and a picture with the President of India. You are lucky. And I smiled at everybody. When you are there and when you have achieved your hard work, I don't know why, is described as luck. I did not accept that comment, and I said, I shall continue to get more pictures with the President. I went on to win another Asian medal and record in 2014 and another picture with the President with my National Role Model Award in 2014. Just when I had reached world number 2 in javelin and knew that I will have a very secure place in 2016 Rio Paralympics and finally my dreams will see the light of the day, my event changed to shot put. With just 11 months in hand, I had to reach the A qualification mark, get into the target Olympic podium scheme and make a medal if I had to make my dream come true. Well, it was time to learn again, and I'm happy that I was willing to learn again. With a total change in the training, the diet, the nutrition, the equipment, the weight training, I was able to make a medal for the country at Rio, from ranking 9th to ranking 2nd in the world. During my training, I again faced a lot of doubts thrown at me. People said a woman at 46 years of age is trying to throw a heavy iron ball equipment. She is going to waste taxpayers' money. She will never be able to achieve this dream. But one thing I learned from that experience, self-belief is the key to fight and battle against any doubt thrown at you. I continued to train even after 2016 when people said that was the right time for me to retire because one should retire at their peak. If you don't win again, you will lose your name, your fame. In 2017, at the age of 47, I got my Padma Shri, another picture with the President. And in 2018, when people said that at the age of 48, when women, all they do is menopause and bleed, I was preparing yet again for my another Asian medal and another Asian record in javelin. And this time, I dared to learn discus and made yet another medal for my country in 2018 Asian Games. 2019, I was bestowed with the highest sporting honor, that's the Khel Ratna Award, and that was my 5th picture with the President at the Rashtrapati Bhavan. What I want to tell everybody here is that no gender, no age, no physical challenge should be able to define the limitations of your dreams. People will look at you the way you look at yourself, and never allow anyone else to paint the colors in your dream.
आपको पता है जोश टॉक्स के हर स्पीकर में मैंने कुछ कॉमन क्वालिटीज़ नोटिस करी हैं। पहला, ये हिम्मत से और अपने डर से लड़के एक नया कदम लेते हैं, कुछ नया सीखने की कोशिश करते हैं। दूसरा, ये हर एक चीज़ में अपनी जी जान लगा देते हैं और तब तक प्रैक्टिस करते हैं और डटे रहते हैं जब तक अपना गोल ना हासिल कर लें। और आपको पता है ये दोनों चीज़ें आप भी घर बैठे कर सकते हैं। आप अपने इंग्लिश या वीक कम्युनिकेशन स्किल्स का डर भगाने के लिए एक स्टेप ले सकते हैं, जोश स्किल्स ऐप डाउनलोड करके और राइट कोर्सेज परचेज करके। और इसमें हमारे प्रैक्टिस सेशंस के थ्रू आप अपने कॉन्टिन्यूस इम्प्रूवमेंट में लगे रह सकते हैं, पॉइंट्स जीत सकते हैं और लीडर बोर्ड में टॉप करके अपनी इंग्लिश को एकदम टॉप क्लास बना सकते हैं। तो बस इंतज़ार किसका है? इस टॉक से मिली मोटिवेशन को वेस्ट ना जाने दें। जल्दी से अपने इंग्लिश का डर भगाने के लिए एक स्टेप लें और अपने सारे सपनों को अचीव करें।